This is Larry Henry. Welcome to The Edge. I'm joined by Patrick Berbert. He is the college basketball trader at Caesars Sportsbook. He's in Las Vegas. Patrick, thanks for joining me today. I want to talk to you about biggest weekend in college basketball. On Saturday, we really do have four superb teams going at it for the right to play Monday for the national title. If you would, Patrick, let me just very briefly sort of frame it a little bit. Big Ten has not won a national title since Tom Izzo led Michigan State in 2000. Got two Big Ten teams in this year, Illinois and Michigan. No team west of Waco, Texas, and Lawrence, Kansas. No Gonzagas, no UNLVs, no UCLAs. On the men's side, the women's UCLA team is in it. Baseball, UCLA is number one. So it's not a complete drought for the West. But in March Madness, it has been since 1997 when Arizona won it. So this could be a chance, and they're in it again this year. This could be a chance for some changes. We could have a Big Ten team. We could have a team from the West, Mountain or Pacific time zone. So that sort of sets the stage for what's happening on Saturday. Patrick, if you would, lay out what the games are and what you guys' lines are and why. How did you guys come about those lines?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first game of the day, we're going to start off with Illinois and UConn. Got Brad Underwood versus Dan Hurley here. That was a phenomenal game on Sunday. You were looking at possibly two big blowouts, and then UConn starts making their push. I mean, you could just never rule out Dan Hurley there. That was an amazing shot at the end. All my years of watching college basketball, that was probably one of the biggest shots I've ever seen in my life in that aspect. So we're going to see if they can keep that momentum rolling here into the Final Four. Illinois had themselves a comeback win as well. They trailed most of the game against Iowa. They were able to put their foot on the gas down the stretch and really run away at the end there from them. So you got two teams playing great basketball at the right time here. And we opened up that game too. And then the total is at 139. It's been pretty stagnant at 2 the whole way. We haven't moved off of it. So we're getting great action there on both sides. They're betting more so Illinois on the money line, and then they're playing UConn on the spread. Normally it's a little opposite in that way. They'll play the dog on the money line and the favorite on the spread, but we're seeing it reversed there. But overall, just because it's a close spread like that, both these games, this first game is seeing great two-way action. We're really excited for the game. Dan Hurley obviously won 2 in a row before being knocked out last year. Brad Underwood finally got Illinois back to the Final Four after that long drought that they had, not making it there. So this is going to be a big game for both these teams to either Hurley extend his possible dynasty that he's building, or Illinois to break this long drought to get to the championship game. And then on the other, the primetime game, Michigan, Arizona. This is the game that everybody's waiting for right here. This is the game that everybody wishes that the two teams were on the opposite sides of the bracket so we can see them play Monday night. We opened up this game a pick. The line did move up to Michigan -1.5. When it got to 1.5, it hasn't got to 2. It hasn't gone back down to 1. The 1.5, this seems pretty fluid right there. That's kind of be where the line's going to be most of the week. You might see some movement come game day. But for right now, I don't see it moving much off of that 1.5. It's pretty split right there across the board. But yeah, I believe that this primetime game on Saturday night between Michigan and Arizona is your championship game, even though it is the Final Four. These are the two best teams going at it, number 1 and 2 in the Ken Pom rankings. And then also in our Caesars college basketball power ratings, these are the top 2 teams in college basketball. It's going to be a war out there. Both these teams, they have a lot of size, good guard play. They're just all around well coached, just a really balanced team. There's no flaws that one team can look to expose in the other. It's really going to be 40 minutes going back and up and down the court and who gets the last shot this game might come down to.
I love your insight. I have you in my pantheon with Ken Pom and with Blue Ribbon, the basketball yearbook, the guy out in the Chattanooga area, Chris Dortch. That's my go-to for knowledge on college basketball. Yes, I love the way you when you look at Michigan and Arizona, you've got the only 2 teams, Ken Pom teams that are one top 1 through 5 in offense and defense efficiency, both of those teams. That's going to be a battle. And you mentioned Illinois. I mean, I'm sort of, as we've talked, I'm a chalk eater. I go for the favorites, but I might lean a little bit toward Illinois, and I'm sort of transitioning to Monday's discussion. If Illinois, whoever makes it, if UConn makes it, I'm looking forward to seeing Coach Hurley's mom up in the stands again, being exuberant. Let me put it that way. But and look, before Florida won it, Hurley won it twice. So you cannot discount UConn. If Illinois advances, you've got the tallest team in basketball. You've got the number 1 offense in Ken Palm. Now, I think they're 20th or something in defense. Michigan's 1 in defense, which is, where it's all, where it's at. But if Illinois advances, let's talk a little bit about Monday, Patrick, on who could advance and what could happen on Monday. It's like you said, Arizona and Michigan, everybody's going to be dialed in. That's you got the 2 Titans going at it. One's going to advance clearly. But from the UConn Illinois side, you're going to have somebody play on Monday. What are some of the lines on Monday? And when you look forward to Monday, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean either way, it's still going to be a great title game on Monday. If when you're looking at Arizona or Michigan advancing to play Illinois, we're going to be looking at probably a 3.5 line, and then if UConn was to advance, the line would be about 5.5 for Michigan or Arizona. But if Illinois was to advance this weekend to play Monday against the winner of Michigan or Arizona, the one thing that Illinois is really good at that they do better than any other team, not just this year, but in like the past 20 years of Ken Palm data, is offensive rebound the ball. And when you offensive rebound the ball at exceptional rate, it creates more possessions, and more possessions equal more points for you to score during the game. So I think that Michigan and Arizona would be able to match up with that well, just because the size that they'll be able to bring to the court and not let them be so dominant in that area of the game. So that could be Illinois' strength playing into Michigan and Arizona's strength as well, which could possibly hinder their success. I mean, Illinois is obviously playing great basketball at the right time, but I do believe that the winner on the side of the bracket that has the Michigan-Arizona winner come out will be your national champion. They've been the 2 most consistent teams all year long. Illinois is obviously a little different than they were in the beginning of the year because Wagler didn't play so much at the beginning of the year, and he's came on to move himself into lottery conversations. But with Michigan and Arizona, they've pretty much played their lineups that they're playing with here all year round. They have the chemistry together. They know what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and they're going to be just all gas. I think Saturday and Monday night's championship game. But I'm really excited either way. I mean, the sport has done a tremendous thing for us this year. It's brought us the best matchups going forward. You saw some upsets in the earlier rounds, and now you get the best on best going head to head with each other. So it's really going to be an exciting watch Saturday and Monday, no matter who plays.
Well, you bring up a great point too. I mean, I think Illinois won all 4 of its games going into this one by double digits, including the team that I thought, as we discussed last time, might have a real good shot at it, at Houston, because I'm a Kelvin Sampson fan. It looks like, by the way, he said he's coming back next year. But even though if Illinois does advance, number 1 scoring Ken Palm efficiency against if it's Michigan, number 1 defense, you can make a great point too about, there's a lot of hoopla about Illinois being the tallest team in the country, but Michigan, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, Michigan's front court, if I'm not mistaken, the 3 transfers, they're all 6'9" and over, including a 7-footer. Now I know Illinois has got the 2 7-foot twin brothers from Croatia via Bosnia, but so you got size all around. But that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you see if it is Michigan and Illinois, you see Michigan or Arizona matching up well against that offensive Illinois.
Absolutely. I mean, you have Yaxel and Morez who split time at the power forward position. They're both 6'9". And then you also have Adaimara, who came over from UCLA, and he's 7'3". And then on the other side of Arizona, you have Mo Krivas, who's over 7 feet. I mean, and then they just have size all over the floor. Their wings are all 6'7". Koa Pete, even Kenshavnov, just massive size everywhere on the floor, and Illinois. I don't think has like seen that this year. They're not gonna see that these are two of the biggest teams that can match up with them well. So that could hurt them a little bit. But obviously, their offense can keep them in the game. They've got the number one most efficient offense in basketball. But Purdue's not that far behind them, and Arizona just played Purdue. Purdue has a 131.6 offensive efficiency Ken Palm rating, where Illinois is 131.8. So only point 0.2 separates those two teams in offensive efficiency. And Arizona was able to shut down that Purdue offense in the second half. So it really wouldn't surprise me that these two great defenses, that Michigan number one on Ken Palm, Arizona number two right behind them, would be able to stop an efficient offense like that just because of their length, their athleticism, and their scoring that can get Illinois out of rhythm.
Great point. And I don't want to get too far ahead and be dismissive of UConn and our
So
folks who might want to not only are fans of UConn but also might want to put a little money down. Let me back up one step before an excellent analysis of Monday, but let me back up one step. What is it going to take for UConn? And you know better than anybody, these March Madness runs can be phenomenal. We all think back to Jimmy Valvano and NC State, and just some extraordinary. Wait, you mentioned the UConn, the 35-footer by the former Indiana high school basketball player of the year from the logo to beat Duke. So anything can happen. What's it going to take for UConn, Patrick, to beat Illinois and to advance to Monday?
it's going to be very simple. They got to make their threes. They started off 1 for 18 from three against the Duke, and I believe they finished the game 4 for 5 after that point. So that could be some momentum rolling into the Final Four here. And the big reason I say that they have to make their threes is not just because that they were so atrocious for most of the game against Duke from the 3-point line, but Illinois is a team that wants you to shoot the three. They allow you to shoot a three on 43% of their possessions, which is about 300th in the nation in an attempted allowed rate. So just the fact that Illinois, they're going to want you to shoot those threes. If UConn's not making their threes, it's not going to allow the post to be effective for Tyrus Reed to perform like he's been doing this tournament. In the regular season, he was just like a so big. Like he was a very good big, but he's not putting up the stat lines that he has been putting up this tournament. I think the first game against Furman, he put up 30 points, 20 rebounds, and then he's had 20 points in 2 other games this tournament as well exceeding his season average of, I believe, like 14 points per game. So if Tyrus Reed is able to be effective down in the post and UConn is able to make their threes, I think that that's going to benefit UConn a lot. But just by UConn making those threes, it's going to make Illinois come out to the 3-point line and want to at least defend it. Like don't let them just take the shots. So if UConn's making their threes, that's just going to open so many things up on the floor for Dan Hurley to run his sets. And me and you both know Dan Hurley is one of the greatest offensive minds in college basketball. When he needs a go-to bucket, he has a set. He runs so many decoys and actions that the defense doesn't even know what to do. So if Dan Hurley is able to just open up the playbook and do whatever he wants, that could be a little difficult for Illinois. And I think that all starts from making your threes.
Great point. And Hurley is, you talk about a motivator and a guy who brings a lot of fire to the team, and they can climb any mountain. If they do make it to Monday, UConn, same thing against either Michigan or Arizona. Got to make the threes. Is it the same sort of take? They're like Vanderbilt, and that game of Vandy's was during the tournament was a classic too. That loss, they live and die by the three. Is that the same thing if UConn makes it to Monday against either Michigan or Arizona?
I think it will be a little bit different in the aspects against Michigan and Arizona. I think it's going to be more of a chess match, and it's going to become more of a defensive-minded game, where the game with Illinois and UConn is going to be more offensive oriented. And I'm not talking like the point total saying that the game is going to go over. It's just going to involve more offense shots going in to win the game, where the UConn versus Michigan or Arizona is going to be more a chess defensive match. Who can get stops more than the other team? Who can be in the right spots at all times? Who can grab the rebounds on all possessions to stop Michigan or Arizona, or vice versa, them stopping UConn from having extra possessions. Who's going to win the turnover battle? All these different factors, I think, are going to come into play in that match. It's not going to be so one statistical focus based, where in the Illinois game, I think UConn just has to make their threes, whereas it's just going to be it's going to be a chess match. So many different areas that UConn, Michigan, or Arizona are going to have to throw at each other in order to win the game.
Before we close, thank you so much for that excellent insight, Patrick. Let me ask you, if I'm walking up to the counter, if I'm on my phone, as we approach Saturday and Monday, Michigan, and I'm a chalk eater. I mean, I tend to go that way anyway. Go Michigan and then maybe a flyer on Illinois, or do we need to wait and see if there's any line movement? I mean, what do we do?
It's a tough one. I mean, both spreads are within 2 points. It's essentially a pick 'em. It's a one possession game. It can go either way. The game in the preseason, UConn was my pick to win it all, and obviously they didn't live up to the expectations I thought that they would. But here they are somehow in the Final Four. And then after I watched that first the season opener, Florida Arizona, and Arizona was able to compete with Florida's size. I saw that their freshmen played really well. They really grew on me, and they grew more and more as the year went on, and they became like my darling. I've loved Arizona all year long, so I think that I'm going to have to stick with Arizona to win it all. And if I was to go with a flyer, I would personally, everybody's going to differ, but I would personally go UConn just because of the preseason story I had there with them, but also just the fact that they're the longest shot odds in base, essentially a pick 'em game with Illinois. If they were to get there, those odds would shrink drastically, per se. So if I had to pick an exacta, I would go Arizona over UConn for the national championship. But I'm not taking anything away from Michigan. Obviously, they were a buzzsaw in non-conference play. They ran through opponents. They look great in the tournament again, winning all their games by double digits. And Illinois is playing great basketball at the right time, the number one offensive efficiency in the country. It's going to be great basketball. But if I had to give you a pick, my pick is going to be Arizona over UConn.
I can't argue with that. It's just I can't think. It's like you said. I mean, I can't. It's been a while since I can remember a Final Four that's been just so dramatic, and so it's good to see some new faces, Big Ten faces, West, teams from out west. It's good to see some new teams. Um, UConn's back again, and is a powerhouse, as are the others. I'm like you about Arizona. I mean, I'm more and more sold on Arizona as the season and as the tournament has gone on. So yeah, I'm with you. It's a tough call. It's going to be great. Are you guys seeing a lot of volume? Are you seeing at the ticket counter and in the numbers in Las Vegas and across the country? Are you guys seeing cell phones and everything else? Are you seeing more volume this year just because of how dynamic this foursome is?
Absolutely, we are seeing the handle up on a game to game basis from these games. I'm not sure. I saw the numbers the other day, and between average viewers and peak viewers from when Braylon Mullins hit that 3-point shot for the win, it was the highest viewership in over 30 years of college basketball tournament games. That just goes to show how many people are interested in the best of the best going up against each other. And with sports gambling becoming so big and in so many states and jurisdictions now, people want in on it, and it doesn't matter. You can wager $2, $5, $10, 1,000, 20,000, so on. It's just whatever they want a piece of, they want to be able to enjoy the action with a bet on it. And that's what makes the sport so great, being able to watch it and cheer for a team that you have money to possibly win on that team.
Exactly. $5, $10. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to be Mattress Mac with a couple million on it. You can put 10, $20 on it. And that's
right.
right. So it's a lot of fun. But thank you so much, Patrick. Before we sign off, speaking of things that you guys have available, do you have some interesting prop bets, parlays, some things going on that you guys are offering as we go into the Final Four?
Absolutely. We put up a ton of game specials and player specials as well. We did a bunch of combined things. Like, let me just give you one for example. Mo Krivas and Toby Awaka could to combine for 20 plus rebounds. Koa Pete and Yaxel Lemberg to each score 20 plus points. We have specials with 3 pointers, assists, rebounds, buzzer beaters for specific players. So you can bet if your favorite player on Michigan is Roddy Gale Jr., you can wager on Roddy Gale Jr. to score a buzzer beater as well. So it's pretty awesome. All these player specials we put up game specials. We have race to. You don't even have to bet the whole game. You can bet who's going to get the 10 points first, which is pretty awesome. We have a first 4 minute spread in total. There's just so many different ways that you can wager on this game that isn't typical for a game to game basis in the regular season. So it's really we're really excited to see all the bets that are coming across the counter for us on all these specific props that we put up for these two Final Four games. It's exciting.
Ton of fun. Very exciting. Patrick Berbert, thank you so much. Caesars Sportsbook, college basketball trader. I can't thank you enough. Like I say, you, Ken Palm, Blue Ribbon. Those are my go-tos, and thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to a real fun tournament. I'm Larry Henry at Gambling.com. Thank you for joining us on The Edge.